The throne room of the Zarathi Empire fell silent as Empress Zalthara's voice cracked with desperation. Her 7-foot frame trembled, iridescent scales dulled with grief as she gazed at the small figure seated beside her throne, a young Zarathi girl, no more than 10 cycles old, staring blankly at the assembled court. "Princess Velika hasn't spoken a word since the neural plague struck 3 cycles ago," the Empress continued, her voice echoing through the crystalline chamber. "Our greatest healers, our most advanced biotechnology, our neural interface specialists, all have failed. She understands everything, but the connection between thought and speech has been severed." Marcus Chen shifted uncomfortably in his maintenance coveralls, acutely aware that he was the only human in a room filled with the galaxy's most powerful beings. As chief mechanic aboard the orbital research station, he'd been summoned here for reasons he couldn't fathom. His calloused hands, stained with hydraulic fluid and circuit grease, seemed woefully inadequate for whatever the Empress required. "Your Majesty," Marcus began hesitantly, "I'm just a mechanic. I fix atmospheric processors and gravity generators. I don't know anything about medicine or neural—" "Silence!" The Empress's eyes blazed with desperate fury. "Do you think I called you here on a whim? The royal physicians have exhausted every traditional approach. They see my daughter's condition as a complex biological malfunction requiring sophisticated biotechnological intervention. But I have studied your species, human. You approach problems differently." Marcus looked at Princess Velika, whose large golden eyes tracked his movement with obvious intelligence. She raised her hand slightly, fingers moving in what he recognized as sign language, a communication method the Zarathi had never developed, viewing it as primitive compared to their telepathic capabilities. "She's trying to communicate," Marcus observed. "Of course she is," the Empress snapped, "but we need her voice, not gestures. The heir to the Zarathi throne cannot rule through hand movements. Our people require the ceremonial speech of ascension, the vocal bonds of diplomacy. Without her voice, she cannot truly be Zarathi." Marcus studied the girl more carefully. In his 20 years of fixing broken systems, he'd learned that the most elegant solutions were often the simplest ones. Everyone else was trying to repair what was damaged, but what if the damage couldn't be reversed? What if they needed to build something new instead? "Your Majesty, what if we don't fix her voice?" The court gasped. Several guards moved toward their weapons. "What if," Marcus continued quickly, "we give her a new one?" Over the following days, Marcus worked tirelessly in the palace's engineering bay. The Zarathi engineers watched in fascination as he cannibalized parts from various systems. A vocal synthesizer from a navigation computer, resonance chambers from communication arrays, even a small quantum processor from a maintenance droid. "This is madness," muttered Chief Engineer Kethavar. "He's building some sort of mechanical throat?" "Not mechanical," Marcus corrected, making delicate adjustments to the neural interface connectors. "Cybernetic. It reads her brain's speech impulses and converts them to vocal output. But here's the clever part. It's not just mimicking Zarathi speech patterns." Marcus had programmed the device to translate Velika's thoughts into any of 17. Different galactic languages, complete with emotional inflections and cultural nuances. More importantly, he'd included something no Zarathi biotechnology had ever achieved: the ability to speak while simultaneously broadcasting the telepathic undertones that gave Zarathi speech its full meaning. The day of the test arrived. Princess Velika sat in the medical bay, the sleek device barely visible as a thin collar around her neck. Marcus had spent hours explaining how it worked, and her eyes had grown brighter with each detail. "Remember," Marcus said gently, "just think the words like you always have. The device will do the rest." Velika nodded, then opened her mouth. Her thoughts flowed through the quantum processors, translated into complex harmonics that resonated with both sound and telepathic energy. "Mother," she said, her voice clear and strong, carrying both the mechanical precision of human engineering and the ethereal beauty of Zarathi telepathy. "I have missed speaking with you." The Empress fell, to her knees, tears streaming down her scaled cheeks. But Velika wasn't finished. "Hello, Marcus Chen," she continued, switching effortlessly to English. "Thank you for giving me not just my voice back, but many voices. Now I can speak to all peoples of the galaxy." The court erupted in amazed whispers. The princess had just demonstrated something unprecedented, the ability to communicate across species barriers that had existed for millennia. "How?" the Empress whispered. Marcus smiled. "Your Majesty, you told me your daughter couldn't truly be Zarathi without her voice, but you were thinking too small. With this device, she's not just Zarathi. She's a bridge between all species. She can speak to humans in their emotional directness, to the logical Altarians in pure mathematical concepts, to the poetic Velthari in layered metaphors." Princess Velika stood and walked to Marcus. "The neural plague didn't take my voice away," she said, her young face wise beyond her years. "It prepared me to receive a better one. I can feel the thoughts of every species now, understand how they think and feel. I am not diminished. I am enhanced." The Empress looked at Marcus with newfound respect. "You have given me more than my daughter's voice. You have given the Empire its future. Name your reward, anything within my power." Marcus thought for a moment. "Your Majesty, I don't want anything. But humanity could use a friend among the great powers. And maybe Princess Velika could visit Earth someday. I think she'd like to see how we approach problems when everything seems broken." As Marcus prepared to leave the palace, Princess Velika caught his arm. When she spoke, her voice carried the warmth of human emotion and the ancient wisdom of Zarathi telepathy combined. "Marcus Chen, you have taught me that being broken isn't the end of the story. Sometimes it's just the beginning of becoming something better." The mechanic smiled, his tool bag slung over his shoulder. In a galaxy full of sophisticated technology and ancient wisdom, sometimes the most profound solutions came from the simple human belief that everything could be fixed, or at least rebuilt into something wonderful.